Cited Reader 11 posts their first story. It is a banger. Slice is back in the competition. My internet fails on the first day of the return of Clash of the Pencils live stream. That's what this is, and we're going to see you there. Where's my. Oh, no. I don't even have the intro queued up. I've got all the other stuff queued up. This is a disaster. All right. I'm bringing in our co host to cover while I find all the other stuff. This is our co host for the day, Greg, the reader. Peterson, how's it going, sir?
Oh man, frazzled as ever, Tom. We're doing great here. Making it work, duct tape, smoke, and mirrors. But there's a show. The show must go
There is
on.
a show. There is a show, and it starts right after this video uploads and plays. So let me tell you that. It's actually going to take a bit to
Nothing is
upload because
thrilling
we're
as this
streaming.
dead air time.
Because, like, have you ever uploaded a video while streaming? What a disaster. All right. Well, hey, this is something I was talking to somebody recently. They said, wow, Clash of the Pencils is back. How long has it been? 2, 3 years? This is how long it's been, Greg. You ready for this?
How long?
When Clash of the Pencils was last on the air, we were in the mid prime of the pandemic.
Wow.
I'm talking about, the top of it. Other things that were going on. NFTs right in the middle of that bubble. You remember NFTs?
I barely remember them, but I feel like we all got rich and then got really poor like in 1 month.
That's a fact. That's exactly what happened with our NFTs. And then let's see, the war in Ukraine hadn't occurred yet, hadn't started yet, and Joe Biden was president. So
feels like 10 years ago, Tom. Feels like 10 years ago and yesterday. You are muted, my friend.
Baby muted me. She is our censor sensei at the moment. So also grabbing at my coffee. This is quite the video is uploaded and it's processing.
Woo!
Dear Lord, I am sorry. I am sorry that this is the most tortured. This was supposed to be a 15-second intro before we hit the show music, and then it's turned into a tortured 2.5 minutes. So, but at least we've gotten through the show, the host intros. Let's see. Prompt that's coming up is about a carnival, right? A carnival during the summer. So you're walking through a carnival. They say if you win every game, you can have an endless summer. Do you take it? So, Greg, what are your thoughts on the prompt here tonight? Where would you take it?
Endless summer is infinite upside, I feel. I've never won a carnival game. None of those large stuffed animals live in my bedroom as a child. None of the small stuffed animals. I would do the ring toss and they would collect my money and I would just go home sad. So I think the chances of winning all the games of the carnival are 0, but the upside is infinite. And through that tension, I don't know, magic's probably going to happen one way or the other.
One way or the other, indeed. And there's also that potential of unintended consequences of, hey, maybe you win an endless summer, but it's an endless summer working this carnival, and you've now set me free as a carnival worker.
Brutal. A brutal twist, but that feels ominous. There was something in the prompt about it being a mysterious carnival.
It is mysterious. So there's only one way to find out what happens, and that is after we watch this intro clip. Turn on the stream tonight, short stories in the spotlight. Writers bring their best to light. The story central time. Breaking down the plot, characters that fought, twists that hit the spot. It's all here live tonight. Are you ready for some stories in a live stream glory? It's the contest of the year. Writers have no fear. Catch the suspense unfold. Feel the tales being told. Critiques fair and bold. The truth will soon be known. Dollars from far and wide. Mysteries you can't hide. Every twist takes its own right. By these rules we abide. Are you ready for some stories in a live stream glory? It's the contest of the year. Writers have no fear. the wait every second. You know, that's all I got to say about that.
That's gonna be in my head the rest of the day.
Critiques fair and bold. That's you and me here, and the truth will soon be known. That's what I think is really telling. That theme song image is generated by Storyflix, which is our proprietary blend of human and robotic algorithms to create some sort of visuals that make you feel something. So, right? Is that
We're we're the only place on the internet combining kids' artisanal handwritten imaginative works with robotic hallucinations from the future.
they say find your niche, and if we haven't, I don't know what it's going to take to drill that down any further. um all right, so hey, let's check this out. We've got three stories, three in the top three tonight, that submitted out of six stories. So wow, a lot of stiff competition. Let's just dive right in, and our first story of the night that we're going to check out and analyze um, is called Space Carnival by Nacho Story. Let's see what's going on.
Field watching my brother's game. Suddenly, an alien spaceship appeared above the mound. A huge, articulated mechanical arm began unloading amazing cargo from the ship. Simple menagerie of space lions, space chimpanzees, and space lions, all contained in a force field bubble. A troupe of multi-tentacle space acrobats, alien showmen, Martian amoebas getting fired out of cannons, formed a space circus. Finally, tons of alien carnival games. Laser guns to shoot space ducks, thousands of spamped alien fish as prizes, and a ragtag crew of roughneck alien carnies to work the games. "What do you say, Johnny boy? Win all the games and I'll make summer last forever," said large space octopus in a pinstripe suit and straw hat. "No thanks, mister. I like the 5 seasons as they are," I said.
All right. So a little league game goes awry as a cargo ship unloading a massive circus, menagerie, and carnival of aliens interrupts. To which the ringmaster, I would assume, dressed in a pinstripe suit, offers the narrator the chance to win an everlasting summer, which they decline.
Mm.
What do we think? What do we
Well,
think
it
about this?
starts. I think the setting. If we go into the
Yeah,
into
let's
our
pull up.
plot, character, and setting, Dorito here,
Yeah,
I think the
that
setting starts with the
stage.
familiar. It starts with a little league baseball game, and Storyflix just grabbed onto that and gave us a really, really recognizable image. And then all of a sudden, we get the pop of insanity with this spaceship. I think it was an articulated or reticulated arm. That
Yes.
then we get all sorts of space lions. The whole menagerie come down with the ragtag crew of carnies, culminating in the offer, which delivers on the premise. Importantly for today's stories, that delivers on the premise,
That's right. That's right.
completes the contract with for which they were set out to write. And then, interestingly, the premise is almost like 2 sentences before the end of the story, and basically it's no deal. And it sort of builds up to this, enchanting visuals of all these different games, and then it's like, no. And why? Because the endless summer would deprive us of the other 4 seasons, which are obviously autumn, winter, spring, and fall,
Summer
and
and fall.
summer and
Right.
fall.
And fall. Right. All 5 seasons that complete a year here at Story Squad. The infamous fifth season. Uh wait a minute. But yeah, so going to the triangle real quick, I think you're right here where the setting is strong as far as we're in that softball field or the little league field where all of a sudden we're seeing this space carnival being unloaded in front of our eyes. The characters are also part of that carnival, the carnies, the octopus man. But then like you're saying, that plot, it's kind of plotless in its plot where the point of conflict was no thanks but no thanks, on to the next one.
Hmm. I also think that while there were some really interesting characters, they weren't. I wanted to know what the narrator a baseball player?
Right.
Was there some sort of callback to the original frame of when we got into this world? Why did the narrator want the to
Hmm,
pass on such a deal? Um, could it be that he wanted the baseball season to be over? There's
never know.
some sort of character development, and that lack of drive for this main character who ultimately turns down the deal. I wanted to know why. I wanted to know why with an earlier detail.
All right. Well, maybe we'll get that next time. But a strong story nonetheless to start us off tonight with or by Nacho's story. So let's see. Let's queue up our next one. Our next one comes from Excited Reader 11, and this is called Zumba Boomba.
His trusted sidekick, Scary SpongeBob, decided to join the local chapter Drock's Rockin' Zumba class. Mr. Guy and Scary SpongeBob showed up at Drock's Rockin' Zumba. It was located at a strip mall nearby. Mr. Guy wore his signature tracksuit, and so did Scary SpongeBob. "Come on in, guys," the instructor shouted. He was a tall, lanky guy in a skin-tight suit with a little orange vest. The class mostly consisted of older women, and occasionally Mr. Fribbs would come. Although Mr. Guy and Scary SpongeBob were embarrassed at first, they joined in and were accepted with open arms. Mr. Guy and Scary SpongeBob rarely talked to the rest of the class, but still attended the class every day. After each class, Mr. Guy and Scary SpongeBob would go home while everyone else went out to eat together. Finally, after class one day, Mr. Guy was approached by Anne, a frequent member of the class. "You guys should go out with us tonight. We're never apart, but you guys are always here." Mr. Guy and Scary SpongeBob nodded. They all went out to Chili's and had a good time. All of a sudden, Mr. Guy and Scary SpongeBob felt groggy. They passed out. They were woken up shocked. Dazed and confused, Mr. Guy asked, "What's going on?" He was surrounded by a white fluorescent light. Turns out in his grog he couldn't move. He was strapped to a metal table. Leaning over him, he could see the Zumba ladies glaring down at him. They all spoke in unison. "As a loyal member of Drock's Rockin' Zumba, you may become one of us, or you must perish." The Zumba ladies took off their faces to reveal that they were lizards. After that, Mr. Guy and Scary SpongeBob went missing and were never seen again.
Okay, so two people, Mr. Guy and Scary SpongeBob, decide to start attending Zumba classes, which goes horribly wrong after attending 100 and going to Chili's to have a meal with their fellow classmates, only to wake up drugged, attached to a table, and presumably disappeared for the rest of time.
I didn't see any of that coming. I thought, hey, if we go to setting, character, and plot here.
Yeah, let's
The setting, the way into a story is always through the setting. And that was incredibly detailed, both with Mr. Guy and Scary SpongeBob sort of reluctantly getting out into this Zumba cult, going to it, but staying kind of on the margins of the social life there, but yet still going out to get exercise. The fact that they rarely talked, and then they feel guilty about rarely talking, and then Anne, who frequents the class, is the one who makes the approach for, like, let's get deeper into the inner sanctum of this Zumba class. They go out, and then everything reverses, and I think that had some great plot elements. The fact that it was a dangerous story. The fact that Scary SpongeBob is ultimately the one who gets scared. I thought there was good naming in there. The only
I
thing
thought that was kind of ironic that Scary SpongeBob, it was very scary for him. He wasn't being scary at all.
Right. The Storyflix had a field day with some of these visuals, with the descriptions of just getting increasingly surreal about sort of this. I had some Richard Simmons exercise mania, in the beginning, and then when the lizards revealed themselves, and this was being a cult, but all taking place within Chili's, as the as the
that like central, yeah, you know what I mean? Like that's where the crux of power really.
I don't know if I could go to a Chili's again without thinking about, am I about to wake up strapped to a table and trying to be forced into the Zumba cult?
Will make you think twice before getting one of their strawberry blasted margaritas. I'll tell you that.
And so,
even know that, yeah.
One of the things, though, for all of the story's successes, the one thing that it fails at. Where's the carnival at Endless Summer?
This is a good point. This is a good point. it kind of misses the mark on a lot of the prompt, as it were.
The prompt. Maybe the carnival is the Zumba class, metaphorically. Maybe the endless summer is endless exercise. But I feel like those elements, if they were intended, could have been brought more to made more explicit and pointed back to the prompt a little bit.
That makes the reader stretch just a little too much, doesn't it? Try to read between the lines. So yeah, what was once a very compact triangle throughout your analysis is now kind of spread back out because of that missing the mark. Just needed a couple words in there. They left the carnival and went to J Rock's Zumba class. They're so close to threading that needle, but a good triangle nonetheless. So we've got one more story to view tonight, and it comes from one of the powerhouse juggernauts from the last time we played on this Clash of the Pencils, Slice. And so let's get right to it. This is The Summer Machine by Slice.
Pitted me against artificial intelligence in a battle of creativity. The second placed me in a cutting boat steering orange goo into uniform thickness. Orange Baron. I'd had experience as the fastest, most accurate slicer and peeler of Cincinnati's mega juicer. Bing, I muttered. No wonder the 90s were full of short summer slices of life. I want the whole lemon. The third and final game meant to summarize one of the books from the exhibit they'd found on the Ogre robots and millennial parents. What are the stakes? I asked the comedy cyborg carnival worker. It has a long glowing still off his narrow shoulders and bony collarbones. Something wrong and bent about the pistons controlling the broad hips encased in a peppermint apron. Fuse, snob. I need to assign and off my artificial intelligence network. No doubt they're working together. Strikes anxiety. Only humanity. Got to do for those of us devastating paycheck Neanderthal natural day jobs. The aging booth hunter Do Joe of Endless Summer to program learning for artificial intelligence programs because they're unable, busy, or unwilling to do it themselves. These whose summers are poisoned by lazy last 3 degrees, who has a completion only so to feed machine. Why don't they read Burmese Days coming of over coffee? This win bothers all of us adolescents enslaved to institutional learning who serve the algorithm, preyed upon by lame tech advance and an elder population's insistence on thinking less. Fantasy Stakes, Zugrop. You could win an endless summer, and McDonald's Hasbroon with Fro Age Cop. Chance to win lifetime Prime membership. Varagonia. The hotbot snorted. I was already in the game. Meh, I had to do was maintain originality to win the first game. Gold. I'm off social media. I knew how to think. I crushed the first bot. Everything I did came from TikTok. The crowd was captivated. I demand diners pressure-washed, cut lawn, themed fabric, and talked celebrity politics. It was just what they wanted. I did a study on about a pair of socks that walked to Europe because they were tired of being unloved. I could tell I lost the audience because I saw the blue light glowing off a tied-down face. I could tell lost the audience because I saw the blue light glowing off her, though I hadn't finished it. Next game was Book Report on 1894. This was easy work, even through no one read. None of them had matters. My generation was last on the robot and millennial port audience. None of them had matter. Jitoff's online pop knowledge, Paw Patrol, ban ad level superficiality, read a relic, I Terrell valiantly friends. I sliced up 6 Shallow Island, lost and game mum's collage. I tried valiantly friends. I sliced up meatmiums and clenched the story in citric acid. The Orange Baron was perfect. You can't beat a robot. I got to get back to keep the aspiratiron flying. School starts on Monday. 3 crop.
Was I muted the whole time?
You were muted the whole time.
I was given some on-point analysis about that. All right. This is not a fact. This is my feelings of, I don't even know what happened there, honestly. But this is what I think might have happened. And it's like some sort of metaphor for a child coming back to school, and it's themed set in some sort of futuristic artificial intelligence carnival where like you have these games like Book Report and Ninja Slicer. I'm not really sure. What do you think happened throughout that story?
Well, the first thing I think happened is that Storyflix cut this into two, and I think that it did the second version first and then the first version second, which might have been some sort of cut up method that's going here. So the plot was a bit of gobbledygook. It had some exquisite sentences that were there was an existential angst that is typical of Slice. There were some self-references to slicers and peelers, slices of life. What are the stakes? Was always thinking about that with wry commentary about sort of being an adolescent in the land. I love the line, the land of lame tech, where seniors don't like thinking. It was something like that. And then training this program to train artificial intelligence with relic knowledge pieces. The book report about 1894, like, yeah, I'm ready for that. What is the book report of 1894? Having said that, it was so ambitious in its world building that I feel like it's almost like it was its own hallucinatory dream that then Storyflix was able to do some sort of hallucinatory overlay on top of it. And there was some sort of effect that it had on me as a viewer and as a reader. But I'm not sure what happened. But I am changed after hearing it.
That's basically how I felt about it. There, like you said, there were some great lines in there, and the the existential dread that Slice is able to cook up about this sort of futuristic dystopic world that may or may not be coming down the pipeline. He's a one of a kind talent as far as the sci-fi futuristic. What is that? What I mean, yeah. What type of genre is that? I don't know. Self-referential. Anyways,
it seems like a kind of like William Burroughs meets some sort of romantic poetry with kind of like the weird lyricism of, I don't know. I'm trying to think. Who wrote Kubla Khan, the poet? I need to do some more work on this.
Kubla Khan. That's a classic. I'm sure someone knows that.
Who?
Kubla Khan.
Yeah, let's Kubla Khan poet. He's the romantic poet I can't find.
Samuel Taylor Coleridge.
Oh, yeah, it's a little bit Coleridge. I was getting some Coleridge vibes.
Is that right? Yeah, that is a jam. That's a great poem. Oh my, that's not what I wanted to do. All right, here we are. We're back. Let's all of this analysis frankly means nothing. That's my favorite part of the night is letting you all know that we've wasted 10 minutes of your life. All we can do is find out who won, and I got to click this button right here. And
we should say that who won is up to America, or is up to the internet at large.
Up to the internet at large. You get to vote. So basically, at the end of our show, we'll give you a new prompt. You have until 4:30 p.m. Eastern time to submit that prompt through to Clash of the Pencils to join the next tournament, and then voting goes from 5 p.m. till 9:30 a.m. Eastern time, where America gets to read and vote for the top 3 stories of the night, which you have just witnessed. And drum roll, please. According to this button that I pressed, Excited Reader 11 comes through with the victory. Wow, it was a close one. It was a close one, folks. I'm sure the there will be some debate on the morning shows about whether or not Slice was robbed there at the last minute, but doesn't really matter. Well, it does matter. I don't know. Let's go to the next. This is my favorite. I'm trying to rush this because this is my favorite segment coming up here. The top 5 sentences of the night. Are you ready for this, Greg?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
All right.
These are our authors.
All right. So this is sentence number 5 of the day from Nacho's story. Laser guns laser guns to shoot space ducks, thousands of spawned alien fish as prizes, and a ragtag crew of roughneck alien carnies to work the games. Number 4 sentence of the night, coming from Slice, Orange Baron lived up to its reputation as the fastest, most accurate citrus slicer this side of Cincinnati. My dad quivered. Wimp, I thought. I like the next lines where it's like, wimp, like the 90s. No wonder the summers were short in the 90s. Anyways, number 3, coming to us from the new calendar, the townsfolk wandered hopelessly for 400 years, trapped in the quicksand viper pit treacherously set by the bunny's Gregorian calendar, until one day a golden bald eagle with laser eyes swooped in and freed the people from their mental chains. Number 2 sentence of the night from Excited Reader 11. The Zumba ladies took off their faces to reveal that they were lizards. What a twist on the last sentence of the story, or right in there. Oh man, can't make that stuff up, folks. Final sentence of the night, number 1 sentence of the night, comes from Marvin the Microbe. Marvin the Microbe gyrated slowly through the pool formed from the bicentennial Martian rainstorms. A spark of electricity one could mistake for excitement crossed his mitochondria as he deciphered chemical inputs from nearby flagellates. There was a bacteria carnival forming in the depths of the puddle.
Wow. The fact that we were robbed of that vision entirely, I don't know if that, how could that not be in the top 3?
You know, I just hope Marvin the Microbe keeps playing because, yeah, exactly. With an imagination like that, what is impossible, right? So, all right, those were our top 5 sentences of the night. And so now, before we sign off, our next prompt for tomorrow is, let me pull up on my phone or pull up somewhere.
For today.
For today.
5.
Right.
What is it? 4:30 Eastern.
4:30.
You have less than 6 hours. Start your
4:30.
story writing engines.
That's right. You're walking down the boardwalk when suddenly something emerges from the sea. Now that is your prompt. So, Greg, we've got the setting right. I mean, we're on a boardwalk. We're at the sea, but the plot is really up for grabs. The characters are up for grabs. Anything could come out of that sea.
Anything could come out of that sea. And the top 3 stories, hopefully, we'll have a wide range of possibilities to analyze tomorrow.
That's right. Where would you take? What would you think you would come out of a sea if you were walking down the boardwalk?
Well, I feel like boardwalks are kind of in this endless summer thing. It's like we're thinking about going back to school and trying to squeeze all we can out of this and avoid the school year. So I would be looking to maybe some of the echoes of today's prompt would continue to carry out.
That's what would come out of the sea at you? Echoes of a Clash of the Pen. You walked. So you're telling me you walk down a boardwalk and you look over at the sea, and all of a sudden, you just see Clash of the Pen. You're just seeing Clash of the Pencils.
Not literally, but I'd be trying to see some way I could escape going back to school.
All right, I got you. I see. You're doing the 1,000-foot gaze, looking into the past and the future. And
perhaps. But we have until 4:30 Eastern. What is that? 1:30 Pacific. Yes. See the top 3. So let's take them through the viewers through this. It's going to the voting will be open for you at 5 Eastern, 2 Pacific. You can vote the rest of the day, and then this live stream will be back tomorrow. Right. Rain, snow, or sunshine, or Xfinity. Right. We will be here and have another live stream and another prompt the following day.
Well, I can't wait. This was a glorious prompt, glorious time back. And yeah, what do you think, Greg? Are we, they say the most dangerous times during takeoff are during launch and landing. The turbulence that we felt, are we going to feel it ever again? Probably not.
We're going to hit cruising altitude one of these days.
Love it. All right. Well, it was great to see you. Great to be back. Great to have all you folks watching the live stream. Thank you, and we will see you tomorrow. Get those stories in by 4:30 p.m. So until then, I really should have a better sign-off.
Don't get...
What?
Oh, I said don't get captured.
Turn on the stream tonight. Short stories heroes in the spotlight. Writers bring their best to light. The story's central time. Breaking down the plot, characters that fought, twists that hit the spot. It's all here live tonight. Are you ready for some stories in a live stream glory? It's the contest of the year. Writers have no fear. Catch the suspense unfold. Feel the tales being told. Critiques fair and bold. The truth will soon be known. Dollars from far and wide. Mysteries you can't hide. Every twist takes the door right. By these rules we abide. Are you ready for some stories?